Monument Circle was the scene for the Indianapolis Aeros' first baseball rally. This is all to show support to Baseball Commissioner Peter Ueberroth how much Indianapolis wants Major League Baseball. Some of the featured speakers today included Larry Conrad and Art Angotti, who is the president of the Indianapolis Aeros. Carl Erskine, the former Brooklyn Dodger great who won the World Series for them, got the first Golden Arrow Award, which was presented by Deputy Mayor Joe Slash. Famous sportscaster great Harry Carey was on hand to sing his famous rendition of Take Me Out to the Ballpark.
I tell you, well, I'm going to start because I got to get to the airport. I'm a Cub fan and I'm a Bud man. And I'm looking forward to the day when the Chicago Cubs come into Indianapolis for their first Major League game of 1988 or whatever the year might be. And I hope that day comes because you people deserve a Major League team. But having said that, honesty compels me to also say to you, when that day comes and the Cubs are here to play the Indianapolis Aeros, I hope the Cubs beat the hell out of you. You know, the support. Somebody, Dan Danielson gave me this. You know, they already have sold 11,000 tickets. They tell me if they sell 15,000 and walk into the commissioner's office later this month, never before has there been such concrete evidence of the merit of the people of the city for a major league team. So somewhere 4,000 more people have to put up that $50 so that they can go in with 15,000 guaranteed season ticket sales. I know it'll happen. You know what Major League Baseball means to a community. You know the money that's involved. Teams come in, spend money. Every bar in this town will be making money if I come in 3 or 4 times. I know I've interrupted the program, but I had to say that to you. Now go ahead with your program.
Thank you, Harry. We're delighted that all of you, on behalf of the Downtown Promotion Council, the Commission for Downtown, we're delighted that all of you have seen fit to come out today to enjoy this special occasion. We have some distinguished people with us. I'd ask them to raise their hand. If you'll hold their applause until we introduce them all, then I'd like to recognize them. Art Angotti, you know, has been organizing this. Art, if you hold up your hand, he's been leading the charge for the Aeros. The Honorable John Mutz, our Lieutenant Governor. John, if you hold up your hand. Dave Cleveland, who is responsible for the Aeros rally today. Danny Danielson, who's been laboring for the past several years to bring Major League Baseball to Indianapolis, and the chairman of the Indiana Baseball Committee. Danny, hold up your hand. Max Schumacher, who's the president of the Indianapolis Indians and one of those people who's really brought the spirit of baseball to Indianapolis year in and year out. Max, hold up your hand, please. Tom Binford, director of the Indianapolis Aeros, a community leader. Dave Elmore, director of the Indianapolis Aeros, community leader. David, hold up your hand. And you met Art. Just let me say that last March, Peter Ueberroth, who's the commissioner of the Major League Baseball, said that in consideration for expansion ball clubs, there were 3 elements that were going to be very important. Multiple grassroots ownership, and that's here. Government backing in the form of a favorable lease in the place where they play, and that's being worked on. And most importantly, he said, proven fan support. Well, they aren't any greater fans in the entire world than those that exist in Indianapolis. Those of us who are connected with professional franchise, in my case the Pacers, understand that. I know Max understands that. I know Larry Woods with the hockey team understands that. The Checkers who are now moving downtown. So we're trying to express that spirit, and we've got 4 areas set across today of the quadrant here in the circle where they're signing up people for season tickets, and that is the name of the game. We have to be able to carry those numbers to the commissioner and to show him that. I just came this morning from Washington. People in Washington on the streets are wearing buttons that says baseball in '87. They're signing petitions on the streets in Washington trying to bring an expansion franchise back. So make no mistake about it, we've got competition and heavily involved from people who really care about sports. Indianapolis has shown its stuff before, and I know we can show it again, so we hope you'll take advantage of this. Just to show that we believe in the Indianapolis Arrows, Art, if you'll step up here a minute. In behalf of Melvin Simon and Associates, I'd like to give you this, our pledge for 200 season tickets, and hope that you'll put that to good use in this contest with all these other cities.
Thank you, Larry. Thank you. You know, we have said that Indianapolis is a place where dreams come true. And we got the Colts, we've kept the Pacers, we have kept the Checkers in downtown Indianapolis, and thanks to Larry Conrad and the Simon organization and all of you out here, you're the Pacer team. Today we've taken another step toward making this baseball dream come true, so thank you very much.
Before the ceremonies today, there was a pitching contest with some celebrities, or so-called celebrities. I'll give you the results here. The slowest pitch among the celebrities was a fellow by the name of Sheriff Jim Wells, who threw at 36 miles an hour. There was a tie for third place between Tony Maines and Tony Lamont, 64 miles an hour, WTLC and WTPI. The second place award went to Don Fisher at 67 miles per hour from WIRE. And our winner is Brian Hammonds at 68 miles an hour, WRTV. Is Brian here? Brian, step up here. Art, why don't you give this to Art?
Brian, this says that you have the fastest sports pitch in Indianapolis, and I think you proved it today. Thank you.
I don't think Nolan Ryan is quaking in his boots. 68 miles per hour, but I'll take it. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to, on behalf of the Arrows, express thanks to FNB, who donated the hats that you see so many people wearing, Cracker Jack from Borden Foods, Planters Peanuts and Tops for the baseball bubblegum cards, and we want to thank all of them. The Arrows have established a precedent of providing an award for a Hoosier, a distinguished Hoosier, who's made a major contribution in the major leagues. The recipient for this first year is a distinguished gentleman. He's from Anderson, Indiana. I've known him for quite some time. He's president of a bank in Anderson. He works assiduously in both state and local charitable endeavors. There's no one more deserving than he, and this is particularly significant right now because he played on the 1955 Brooklyn Dodgers, which is the only year the Brooklyn Dodgers, as the Brooklyn Dodgers, won the World Series. Please join me in welcoming a great American, a great athlete, a great Hoosier, Carl Erskine.
Thank you, Larry, and all my good friends in Indianapolis and around. This is a great day. Yeah, I have that ring on today, Larry, that 1955, 30 years ago, first and only Brooklyn Dodger World Series. Then I went to Los Angeles. Yeah, I have a little experience with franchise shifts because I moved from Brooklyn to Los Angeles in 1958, and I have another ring at home that's the 1959 World Championship ring, first one in Los Angeles. Is it too much to think that in a few years we might have the first World Series ring in Indianapolis? I don't think so. Thank you, Larry, and thank the Arrows for this distinction, and I certainly am proud to be a Major League affiliate, a player, former player, and Indianapolis is ready for Major League Baseball. That's great. I thank you very much.
Okay, good. Okay. Good, okay.
Thank you, Carl Erskine. Now, no meeting like this surely could be successful or complete unless we had some music. Does anyone in this crowd like singing? If there's anyone that you would like to hear sing on this entire platform, who would it be? Now we're going to have to give him some help.
Now wait a minute. You know what you've just proven to me? Not only that you are a well-deserving Major League Baseball city, but that all of you are true music lovers. Wait a minute. You know, a couple of years ago, they had a new organist at Wrigley Field. And the guy comes up to me, he's nervous. He said, Harry, you know, I know you sing Take Me Out to the Ball Game. What key do you want me to play it in? I said, key? What the heck are you talking about? The only key I've ever heard about is whiskey. Yeah. You know, Carl Erskine, he mentioned, and very modestly, which is in character, he did not mention that he set a strikeout record in that World Series. Right. I can still see him at Yankee Stadium. I think Joe Collins, a first baseman, struck out 4 times in a row. Mickey Mantle struck out about 3 times in a row. He was truly a great pitcher. I know because I broadcast for the Cardinals in those days, and the reason it was the Dodgers in the World Series and not the Cardinals was because of Carl Erskine. So when you need a bank to put your money in, you can trust his bank.
1, 2, 3.
That's a commercial not paid for. All right, a 1, a 2. Now let me hear you. A 3. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I ever get back. Oh, it's root for the arrows. If they go in, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3, pressure at the old ball game.
Let me introduce to you Deputy Mayor Joe Slash for a presentation. Joe?
Harry, we're not only just music lovers, but we're lovers of fine people. We're not only just music lovers in this city and baseball lovers in this city, but also lovers of fine people. You've been here to Indianapolis twice in the last 12 months to help us kick off a major event. And on behalf of the mayor and the Indianapolis baseball community and all of its fans, I want to first of all present to you an honorary citizenship certificate, and secondly, a key to the city to make sure that you get back in when you come down Interstate 65 to announce that first game in 1988 or whatever year we get the Arrows here to play the Cubs, and we're going to win the game, Harry.
All right. Thank you very much, and I've been presented with something else.
Okay, Harry, you can help us a little bit.
Wait a minute. In case those of you could wait a minute. I don't know why they give me a bat. I'm on my way to San Francisco. I'm going to hand this bat to a couple of our hitters who are in a slump. Maybe we'll get started the second half. Thank you very much.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you'll help us out a little bit, we're going to take the first official team photograph. I'd like for everybody to turn around and face WTPI's headquarters up here in this building. Take off your hat, give a big wave. They're going to take a team picture. Harry, if you hold up your banner. You get to sign up for the season ticket drive. That's the name of the game. We have to have the season ticket to present to the commissioner. Thank you all for coming.
In the meantime, what could be better than having the voice of the Chicago Cubs? He's a Cub fan, a Bud man.
Yeah, you got that right.
And holy cow. Harry, thanks so much for coming. And what you got them all excited today.
Besides, I got the key to the city. Any of you guys get in trouble, let me know. All right, what do you want to know, pal? Anybody want to ask a question?
What is your response to the crowd today?
I didn't have a chance to count it. There's no attendance clause in my contract. Well, I thought it was a marvelous crowd. I just wish I had a little more time because I'd like to take care of all these youngsters, and with anybody that's nice enough to want your autograph, I always like to take care of them, but we're on a tight schedule. What I believe about your major league hopes is very positive. You know, I had a chuckle when I read in the paper the other day, and it was quite a feature story about Indianapolis and their dreams for having a Major League Baseball team. I had a chuckle when somebody said the negatives were that you were too close to Chicago, Cincinnati, and St. Louis. My gosh, that ought to be a tremendous boost. You have a natural area for rivalry. Just think when you come in to play the Cubs, half of Indianapolis would be with you. When the Cubs would come in here, half of Chicago would be with you here in the city. And likewise in St. Louis and Cincinnati, which is even more of a neighbor to you. This is what baseball has lacked, are natural rivalries. And I know the Chicago Cubs in St. Louis, they're sold out. As soon as the schedule's announced, the games are sold out. The Chicago people go to St. Louis, spend a wonderful weekend. The St. Louis people come to Chicago, spend a wonderful weekend. And you know what this is for the community, the economy of the city, the millions of dollars that are spent by thousands and thousands of people who come from one city to another. This is what it's all about. And if baseball isn't smart enough to see that this is a strength and not a weakness in your position, then there's something wrong with baseball. Not that that should be any bit of a strange thing to you people who've heard me talk about stupidity of owners. Here they are talking about we're facing a strike because the owners think that the ball players are getting too much money. Well, who the hell pays these ball players? If your boss decides to pay you $1 million a year, you're not going to turn it down, are you? So if the salaries are too high, it's the people who are paying the salaries who are wrong, not the people who accept it. And once you give a guy $1 million to play for you, you don't expect him to turn around and give half of it back to you, do you? So, you know, there's a lot to be said about the position of both teams, both sides. I think it's wrong to fault just the players for the possibility of a strike, any more than it is to fault only the owners. And that's why I hope the two sides can get together and say, the owners say, hey, the facts of the matter are we're paying 230 hitters $2 million. You know that's wrong. And the players should be in a position to say yes. But from now on, don't be so stupid as to do that. And the owners should say, yeah, that's like being my father taking me to the woodshed, as somebody once said. So let's hope that but the heck with the strike. I want to talk about future Major League Baseball here, and I hope you get those 15,000 season tickets promised for, because there is no better proof in the world than you walk into that commissioner's office and say, hey, we don't even have a ball team. And look, we have 15,000 people in our city who will promise to buy season tickets. And, you know, talk is cheap. Whiskey costs money. Each one of them's put up $50 already as a guarantee that they're going to buy the season ticket. That's the most telling argument that I can think of. And if he has already given you 3 requirements, and you will have met all 3 of them, and met them easily. Just like Denver has met all 3 of them. I can't understand why Denver doesn't have a major league team. Something's wrong with baseball when franchises continue in cities which have proven that they're not interested in going to the ballpark. Hell, if the people don't want to see the team, take the team where the people want to see them. Yes, sir.
If we get the Arrows, would you rather see them play in the Hoosier Dome or play outside?
I'd rather see them play outside. I'm not much of a dome man, unless it's a bar. I think baseball was meant to be played. Well, there you are again. Here's Chicago, Wrigley Field. 36,000 seating capacity. You'll seat what? Almost double that. 36,000. They play only day baseball. Only day baseball. Televise every game for free, home and road. 154 games of the year for free. And they drew 2,100,000 last year. They're already over 1,300,000. We're going in just coming out of the All-Star break. And yet, what do the high moguls of baseball want to do? The one team that's playing the game the way the good Lord intended it to be played, out in the bright sunshine with the green grass, the small intimate stands, the beautiful ivy-clad walls. What are they trying to do? They're trying to force them to leave these ideal conditions to play somewhere where kids cannot go to the ballpark because it'll be too late before they can get home. From the standpoint of the future of the game, through these youngsters, day baseball would be mandatory in my book. And that's why the Cubs should be getting a pat on the back for holding out against the almighty dollar rather than being forced into putting in lights.
Harry, the fans that live in Indianapolis seem to be National League fans.
Are they good?
St. Louis, Chicago. Do you think it would hurt the Arrows to play in the American League? And is there room for the Arrows to play in the National League East?
Well, if they replace somebody like Pittsburgh, there'd be room for them to play in the National League East. And I read a story about the possibilities of that.
I think they've nixed that. They nixed that. They nixed it today.
They did? Well, who else in the National League doesn't draw?
San Francisco?
San Francisco. That's too far away, right? It'd be pretty hard for you people to become fans of a team that came from the city by the bay. Whether it's American League or National League, the important thing is to get a Major League franchise. Naturally, I'd prefer you got a National League one because I think you're right in the middle of all this rivalry that could be so, it's conducive to such a great interest and fervor and drama and tension when you play a team that you have really, the adrenaline flows, you really want to beat them. But if not that, take second best, which I've always said the American League is.
Do the Cubs have the intensity to go all the way this time?
The Cubs have had the intensity all the way, sir. What the Cubs haven't had is Bobby Dernier, Ryan Sandberg, and Gary Matthews and Jody Davis playing all the time. What they have not had is Rick Sutcliffe and Dennis Eckersley and Steve Trout. And who's the other starter we've had? Oh, and Scott Sanderson with a bad back. All these guys have missed at least 5 or 6 turns. But you know how many, you multiply 5 by 4, that's 20 games that you would have won 15 out of. Instead, you wind up losing 13 in a row. The only thing the Cubs lack is not intensity, it's getting their ball club back on the field. That's why I can't wait to get out to San Francisco and see what 3 days rest has done to some of the ailing.
You think it'll tighten up the race, Harry, in the second half of the season? Do you think the Cardinals will be able to hold their lead at the top?
Cardinals are an outstanding ball club. They're getting pitching from sources that a lot of people in the game are surprised by. Whether or not in the second half that continues remains to be seen. That's why they play 162 games. But yes, the race is going to get close. What are they, separated by 2.5? Well, the Cubs are only 7.5. I remember the Cardinals in August of 1964, 15.5 games out in the end of August, and came on to win without a playoff. So there's plenty of time. Once they get their pitchers back off the ailing list, they'll be ready to make a drive. Anybody else? Anybody in the back there? Hey, Bob, how are you, buddy? How's everything in my favorite town, Kokomo?
Omaco.
Spelled backwards is Omaco.
The people you talk to in baseball, what are they saying about expansion in Indianapolis?
You talk to the owners, and I've never talked to them specifically about Indianapolis. You talk to owners, and they're all in favor of expansion. You know why? Because of the bottom line. Every club is going to benefit through an expansion team, because rather than buy an existing team for 40 or 50 million, whatever the prices are, the Tigers went for 48 million 2 years ago. Now, if you get an expansion team, you have to pay the league what they think would be a fair price for having a Major League franchise. If it's 40 million, you're going to have to pay them 40 million, just as you would have to pay another team 40 million. So naturally, the owners are happy about that. About the caliber of baseball, personally, I honestly hope that you pursue an existing team as far down the road as you can, getting an existing team. If you fail in that, then you go for expansion, because the next expansion is going to diffuse the talent even more, and I think it's just recovery now from the last expansion. As a matter of fact, that's why I think the National League is stronger than the American League, because the American League expanded the last time and the National League didn't. So the National League 12 teams are of longer duration than the American League's last 2 teams are. Anybody else?
Are the owners telling the truth on their finances?
Don't ask me any question about the owners telling the truth. No, go ahead. What's your question? I'm kidding.
Well, seriously, we see a lot of...
no, they're telling the truth.
The fact that they aren't making money in these franchises. I know they got huge salaries, but I also saw them at your field last Saturday, and my God, there's people trying to get into the place.
Yeah, the owners are telling the truth, but not the whole truth. And it's just like, I don't know what business some of the people are in here. Your accountant can make the figures come out any way you want to. You can charge so much to advertising, so much to promotion, so much to this, and maybe you didn't spend all that much money. But this is the way it comes out on the books. I don't think there's any question that cities like Seattle and Pittsburgh and San Francisco and Oakland and maybe Houston are not making money. If they are, they're just breaking even. But I find it hard to believe that the New York Yankees lost $11 million last year, the way they put in one of these stories. But it isn't that the owners are lying, it's just that their business practices are such that they try to make the figures look a certain way. And we all know the reasons for that. Rather than show a larger net profit, if you can write off some of the profits into some avenues of expense that you can write off on your income tax, you're better off.
Harry?
Yeah.
You've been the voice for the Cardinals, the Oakland A's, the White Sox, now the Cubs.
And I'm not tiring at all.
And you said that you love baseball. It's not so much the team, but it's the game itself. Any chance of you being the voice for the Indianapolis Aeros?
No, I tell you, I'll do everything in my power, to help these people here get a franchise, because I believe that this is where a major league team would really succeed. Your basketball team, a lousy basketball team, and you average 11,000 per game. You got a football team. I don't think Bob Irsay would be anybody's favorite in any kind of a popularity contest that you could think of. Yet you sell out the football stadium every game. That means that the interest in sports is here. This is what you have. Yes, I did say that about baseball. I broadcast 25 years for the St. Louis Cardinals. I was born and raised in St. Louis. From the day I can remember, I was a rabid Cardinal fan. And then here I am broadcasting. Why, this was a dream come true. I figured that I really had the world by the tail. Well, after 25 years of doing the Cardinal broadcast, where I thought they're going to give me a gold watch, they gave me a pink slip. Now I find out two things. Number one, what a stupid businessman I was, because when I flew up to Chicago to talk to Charlie Finley about broadcasting in Oakland, right off the top, he offered me $30,000 more than I had made in St. Louis, where I was an institution. Boy, it must have been a poor institution. So now I found that out, that I was a bad businessman. Then I thought to myself, oh, winter, how in the world am I going to get excited about the Oakland A's? Oakland, that's Siberia, for Pete's sake. Then I report I hadn't been on the job a month. I'm more excited about Gene Tennis catching, Sal Bando playing third, Bert Campaneris playing short, Dick Green at second, Mike Epstein at first, Joe Rudy in left, Rick Monday in center, Reggie Jackson in right, Catfish Hunter, a Blue Moon Odom, Kenny Holtzman, Raleigh Fingers. Hell, I was more excited about them than I'd ever been about the Cardinals. That's when I learned that it isn't the city or the team or the players that you're in love with. The players are merely temporary actors on the stage. What you're in love with is this game, baseball. It's the greatest game. Where but baseball could little kids, 3, 4, 5 years old, get as much fun as 75-year-old people who've been going to the ballpark forever? Where but baseball can a pretty lady like this, who's never seen a ball game, let's say, go 3 times and start second-guessing the manager about whether he should bunt or not? The very beauty, the majestic beauty of baseball is its simplicity. One man throws one ball to one man with a bat, who can hit it in usually just one direction, where only one man can catch it ordinarily. I mean, there's nothing hidden about the game. It isn't like the nuances and the shadings that you have in football and basketball. This guy's picked off, this guy pulled out, this guy this and this guy that. Baseball is simple. The guy throws the ball, you hit it, somebody catches or doesn't, and you run like hell. Great game. Anybody else? Anybody else besides you guys? You're asking all the questions.
Yeah, I got a question.
All right.
To get back to the Cubs for a minute, do you think we'll see Dunston at shortstop anymore this year?
If I'd have had my way, you'd have seen him all along. I think the kid was doing all right until all this internal combustion broke, where the headlines are featuring Larry Boa demands to be played or traded. Larry Boa says the kid's not ready to play. Some pitchers think that Boa should be playing shortstop. This is the pressure the kid could no longer take, because now it came from within his own family, and I think that's when he really tightened up. And he was terrible the last week. He's hitting about 295. They say he's feeling beautifully. I have nothing to do with these things. I'd like to see the kid up here all the time. He can do so many more things than the other fellows playing shortstop can do, taking nothing away from anybody. Anybody else? Let's go. I got to catch a play.
Harry, do you feel that
You're next, Carl.
since baseball fans are baseball fans, that even though that a lot of Indianapolis people have affiliations with other teams now, do you think that there's no problem them changing affiliation to an Indians team, or maybe to be a Cub fan but also be an Indiana fan?
Well, what's wrong? Hey, we have people all over the country that watch the Cubs. When the Cubs play in Houston, the people in Texas who watch the Cubs come into Houston. Houston gets 83% of that gate. Okay? So you're helping Houston. The Cubs are helping Houston make more money. Cubs go to Cincinnati the same way. St. Louis, half the crowd is from the environs, where there are a lot of Cub fans. What's wrong with having that? You know, everybody talks about the universal appeal of the Cubs. One of the reasons they have it is because they're the only team in baseball that plays in the daytime. You can watch a lot of teams play at night. Everybody televises at night, but only one team plays strictly in the daytime. So even if you're a Cleveland Indian fan, you can watch the Cubs in the daytime. If you're a Seattle Mariner fan, you can watch. If you're a Dodger fan, you can watch the Cubs in the daytime. This makes further interest in this fan. So he's going to go to somebody's ballpark. If it's closer for him to go to L.A., he'll go to the L.A. ballpark. If it's closer for him to go to Seattle, he'll go to Seattle. But the important thing is that you're keeping him a fan. And a fan eventually is going to pay his money to see somebody. Hopefully it's your ball club.
Harry,
I got to go.
I know you do. You are our fan. And
thank you very much.
And thanks for all your help.
Thank you. Gee whiz, I thought I wasn't going to come here, but they told me you were going to give me a Mercedes-Benz. Carl, did you want to have?
Come over there just a second.
Hey, we got a lot of them already signed. Who's Roger Blameyer? Where are you?
I gave him away.
Harry.
Oh, hey, this hurts me.
I'm with Carl Erskine, who is of Brooklyn Dodger fame. Carl, what's your involvement in bringing the Indianapolis Aeros to Indianapolis?
Well, I've been on this large Major League committee seeking Major League Baseball. Danny Danielson's been the chairman. There have been many meetings back over the last 3 or 4 years. So I take a kind of a quiet behind-the-scenes role. I've talked to some of the owners, particularly Peter O'Malley, who owns the Dodgers and is a strong influence in the Major League ownership in baseball, trying to get a feel of where the owners are. Peter O'Malley shared with me some good information, which I've shared with the committee, about timing, about what the owners are thinking, about what the possibilities are of either a shift franchise or an expansion. So my involvement's been there all the time, but I have not been up front with it so much. But I sure have a lot of interest in what happens and think it's time that Major League Baseball could very well be looking this direction.
What kind of a timetable are we talking about as far as getting the Aeros playing here?
Well, Harry Carey made a comment earlier about expansion teams are farther away and more expensive in some ways than trying to acquire an existing franchise. I would think anything within the next couple of years would have to be expansion. If would have to be an existing franchise. Expansion is probably, at least the best guess is 5 years away. But I think there's a lot of discussion about expansion among the owners who know there are certain cities, Denver, New Orleans, Vancouver, many cities looking for and wanting and building, as Indianapolis has done, a stadium for a Major League Baseball franchise. So I think expansion's in the wind for sure. Indianapolis may have a better chance of getting an existing team rather than waiting for that expansion.
Mayor Hudnut stated today that he really would rather see an expansion team than the Pittsburgh Pirates coming to town.
Yeah. He has to be flavoring his comments some degree with a sensitivity to the city of Pittsburgh, what that would mean to the city administration, to the economy of the city. I'm sure Mayor Hudnut is sensitive when he gives that answer that he doesn't like the idea of a raiding party going to Pittsburgh and uprooting a team. I know the Colts were welcomed with open arms, but they fled rather than were enticed, per se, to pull up stakes. And I'm just guessing, but my feeling is Mayor Hudnut's very sensitive to the community of Pittsburgh and would say ideally it'd be nice not to disrupt a community, but to have an expansion team, a new one.
The cities that I hear as far as the front runners are concerned are Denver and Tampa Bay as well as Indianapolis. Do you think anybody's got a line on it?
That's hard to say. There's a lot of discussion inside. It's almost like a baseball trade. Some are going on now. Who has the inside tracks? Real hard to tell, and I wouldn't have really any good information to make a guess at that.
Do you think Indianapolis would benefit being in either the National League or the American League?
That's a good question. It would appear with Cincinnati close, St. Louis, and Chicago, all National League, that it would be more ideal. But I think the real key is the television audience and who that could attract. And we're, in that sense, it hardly makes any difference whether it's National or American League. We're sitting in a real solid position in terms of the population base that's in a viewing area. And so from that standpoint, I think that says more to who would be interested than whether it's one league or the other.
Carl Erskine, recipient of the first Golden Arrow Award.
Right.
Carl?
Very proud of that.
Thank you.
Good.
And
right
there it is.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Carl, thank you so much.
You bet.
Art Gotti is the president of the Indianapolis Aeros. Art, you've got to be very pleased with the rally today.
Well, I am pleased, not so much for ourselves, but for all the baseball fans that signed up to buy Aeros tickets. I think we took a couple of steps toward the reality of getting a team here.
It seems like the city of Indianapolis wants more of an expansion team, a team that they can call their own, rather than transferring an existing Major League Baseball team here. Do you agree with that?
Well, that seems to be the case. I haven't had a chance to talk to Mayor Hudnut, but we plan to as soon as he gets back into town. I understand his concerns, and I know the frustrations they've experienced because of the Colt move. Frankly, it's going to be easier. It's going to be a more direct route for us to get to a franchise and a winning franchise if we go with an expansion with an existing team. So we need to get together and talk this out.
Do you have any speculation as to where the Aeros would play?
Well, right now we're saying the Hoosier Dome, but the fact that we pursued Pittsburgh and got some of the reactions that we have makes me a little bit more optimistic that we might have a new stadium someday.
Which would benefit the Aeros more, playing in the National League or playing in the American League?
Well, I tend to agree with Harry Carey. If you get in the National League, you've got these natural rivalries in Cincinnati and Chicago and St. Louis, and I think that would be good for the club. I grew up knowing the Oakland Athletics. I know the American League, and I kind of enjoy that league. I can honestly say I'd be happy to have a team in either league.
Art Gotti, thank you very much. President of the Indianapolis Aeros, after today's first Aeros rally on Monument Circle.